Hello, everybody. So I'm going to continue with lesson 7.2, and I'm going to discuss the independent practice problems on pages 183 and 184 of the sixth grade Go Math textbook. All right, so number 9, the scale of the map is missing. Okay, so the actual distance from Liberty to West Qual is 72 miles, and it is 6 inches on the map. Okay, what is the scale of the map? Okay, so we know that it's 72 miles, and it would be 6 inches on the map. So what we have to do is figure out what it would be for 1 inch. Okay. So how do you go from 6 to 1? Well, we would divide by 6. So take 72 and divide by 6. And we should know that 6 times 12 is 72. So 1 inch equals 12 miles. All right, Foston is between Liberty and West Qual and is 4 inches from Liberty on the map. How far is Foston from West Qual? Well, we know the distance from here to here is 6 miles, right? 6 inches, 6 inches. And it's saying from Liberty, it's 4 inches from Liberty on the map. So here's 4 inches. So this must be 2 inches, right? All right, so how far is Foston from West Qual? All right, so we know our rates are 1 inch gives us 12 miles. So if Foston is 2 inches from West Qual on our map, then two divided by 2 is 1. So what number divided by 2 is 12? Well, that's the same thing as just doubling the 2. So it's 24 miles. 12 times 2. All right, number 10. A punch recipe says to mix 4 cups of pineapple juice, 8 cups of orange juice, and 12 cups of seltzer in order to make 18 servings of punch. All right, so how many cups of each ingredient do you need to make 108 cups of punch? All right, so our ratio is pineapple juice would be 4 to 24. Okay, so for every 4 cups of pineapple juice, the total number in the punch would be 12 plus 8 plus 4. So 24. So pineapple is 4 cups to 24 cups total. So if I have 108 cups total, how much of that will be pineapple? Okay. So how do we go from 24 to 108? Well, let's divide to see if we can get a whole number multiplier. 4 So actually we get a remainder of 12. So 4 and 12 24ths, or 4.5. So multiply 4 by 4.5. So we'd need 18 cups of pineapple. How many cups of orange juice would we need? Well, orange juice is 8 cups. To 24 cups total. Okay. So our ratio here is 8 cups of orange juice to 24 cups total. So again, if we're going from 24 to 108, we're going to multiply by 4.5. So 4.5 times 8 is 36 cups. All right, now there's a couple ways we could actually do this last one, right? We could just multiply 12 times 4.5, because we know it's going to be the same rate or same multiplier. Or we know that it's going to be a total of 108 cups, and I've already got 54. So it's going to be 54 cups of seltzer. All right. So how many servings can be made from 108 cups of punch? So in that case, we know that it takes 24 cups to make 18 servings. So if we have 108 cups, again, we know we're going to multiply by 4.5 to go from 24 to 108. So 4.5 times 18. So we'd be able to have 81 servings. All right, for every cup of seltzer you use, how much orange juice do you use? For every cup of seltzer, how much orange juice do you use? So we have 12 cups of seltzer. And we have 8 cups of orange juice. Okay, well, I know that a common factor of 8 and 12 is 4. So 8 divided by 4 is 2, and 12 divided by 4 is 3. So 2/3 cup of orange juice for every cup of seltzer. All right, let's go to number 11. On an airplane, there are 2 seats on the left side in each row and 3 seats on the right side. There are 150 seats altogether. How many seats are on the left side of the plane? So our ratio is 2 left side to 5 total. So if there's 150 seats total, how many seats are on the left-hand side? Okay. So it said 2 seats on the left side, a total of 5, because there was 3 on the right-hand side. There's a total of 150 seats. All right, well, to go from 5 to 150, that would be a multiplier of 30. So 2 times 30 would give us 60. So 60 seats on the left-hand side. So how many seats are on the right side? Well, we could do 3 to 5 equals 150 over something over 150. Or we could just go 150 minus 60. Because if there's 60 seats on the left-hand side, the rest have to be on the right-hand side. Okay, so I'm just going to subtract. So I get 90 seats. All right, 12A. Carrie and Crystal are taking a road trip from Greenville to North Valley. Each person has their own map, and the scales on the map are different. On Carrie's map, Greenville and North Valley are 4.5 inches apart. The scale on her map is 1 inch equals 20 miles. How far is Greenville from North Valley? Okay, well, the scale is 1 to 20. The scale distance on her map is 4.5 inches. So multiply the distance by 4.5. So we get 90 miles. The scale on Crystal's map is 1 inch equals 18 miles. How far apart are Greenville and North Valley on Crystal's map? So we're going to use her scale, 1 inch to 18 miles. And we have to find out how long it is on her map based on the fact that it's 90 miles in real life. Okay, we have to use the 90 miles because that's the actual distance from Greenville to North Valley. So 18 times what is 90? 5. 5 times 18. So 1 times 5. So we're going to get 5 inches. Okay. 13. A machine can produce 27 inches of ribbon every 3 minutes. How many feet of ribbon can the machine make in 1 hour? All right, so we're going to have 27 inches every 3 minutes. So how much can be produced in 1 hour? Well, 1 hour equals 60 minutes. So change the hour to 60 minutes so we have consistent units. And we have to find out how many inches that will be, and then we can convert the number of inches into feet. So 3 times 20 and 27 times 20. 540 inches. 540 divided by 12 is 45 feet of ribbon. Okay, 14. Well, let's look at this again. So we had 27 inches every 3 minutes. And I went ahead and changed the minutes in the hour, or the hour into minutes. And I stayed consistent with the inches. So I found out that there was 3 times 20 gives us 60 minutes, and 27 times 20 is 540 inches. But the question said in how many feet? So we have to divide 540 by 12, and that gave us 45 feet. All right, number 14. All right, so Marta, Lori Beth, and Ira all have bicycles. The table shows the number of miles of each rider's last bike ride, as well as the time it took each rider to complete the ride. All right, so Marta spent 80 minutes on the last bike ride, and she traveled 8 miles. Lori Beth spent 60 minutes and traveled 9 miles. Ira spent 75 minutes and traveled 15 miles. So what was Marta's unit rate in miles per minute? So right now we have 80 minutes. Actually, we'd have 8 miles over 80 minutes because she wants miles per minute. Well, I can divide by 8. So I'd have so 1/10 would be 0.1 miles per minute. Okay. Because right now I'm still not at 10, so I'd have to divide 1 and 10 by 10. So 1 divided by 10 is 1/10. So hers is 1/10 mile per minute. Whose speed was the fastest on their last bike ride? All right, so we know that Marta's was 1/10 mile per minute. Lori Beth's 9 in 60 minutes. So 9 divided by 60 is 15 hundredths miles per minute. And Ira is 15 miles in 75 minutes. So divide 15 by 75. And we get 0.20 miles per minute. Whose speed was the fastest? Ira's. Okay, so Ira's was 0.2 of a mile per minute. Lori Beth's was 1.5 miles per minute. I'm sorry, 15 hundredths miles per minute. And Marta was 1/10 mile per minute. If all 3 riders travel 3.5 hours at the same speed as their last ride, how many miles will the 3 riders travel together? Okay, so we would add the 3 rates up. So we have 1/10 plus 15 hundredths plus 20 hundredths would give us 46 hundredths. Okay, 20 plus 15 is 30, i.e. 35 hundredths. Okay, so we have 3 in the tenths place, 5 in the hundredths. We can add a 0 to the 1, and that would give us actually 45 hundredths. Miles per minute. So now 3.5 hours, that's not in minutes, is it? So we have to convert the 3.5 hours to minutes. So 3 times 60, 180 minutes. And half an hour equals 30 minutes. So we have to multiply 45 hundredths by 210. So 94.5 miles. Okay, so we found their rates, added all three together, and multiplied by 210, because that's how many minutes are in 3.5 hours. All right, number 17. Jason watched a caterpillar move 10 feet in 2 minutes. Jason says that the caterpillar's unit rate is 1/5 foot per minute. Is Jason correct? So we want feet per minute. Okay, and the would be 5 feet per minute. Is Jason? No. So basically, what he did was he had minutes in the numerator, so he found minutes per mile, and that's why he got 1/5. All right. So 18. If the number in the numerator of a unit rate is 1, what does this indicate about the equivalent unit rates? Well, you'll remember that a unit rate has a denominator of 1. So we're basically saying what's going to happen if the number in the numerator of a unit rate is 1. So 1 over 1, what's that going to be for the equivalent unit rates? Well, they're going to have the same numbers. So for instance, okay, so if we increase the unit rate, in this case, the denominator is 1, and they also told us the numerator is 1. Well, if we multiply that by a factor of 4 over 4, we're still going to get 4 over 4. So the equivalent rates will have the same numbers. All right, 19a. A boat travels at a constant speed. After 20 minutes, the boat has traveled 2.5 miles. The boat travels a total of 10 miles to a bridge. Okay, so we have graph the relationship between the distance and the time it takes. So distance over time. All right, so this is a relationship they gave us. They gave us 2.5 miles every 20 minutes. So how long will it take if we go 10 miles? Well, 4 times 2.5 is 10, right? So 2 times 4 is 80 minutes. All right, so graph the relationship. So after 20 minutes, the boat travels 2.5 miles. So in between 2 and 4 is 3, so 2.5 would be in between 2 and the 3. Okay. After 60 minutes, it would be 3 times 2.5, or 7.5. After 100 minutes, that would be 20 minutes times 5. So 5 times 2.5 is 12. 2.5 times 5 would be 12.5, right? I think I said 12, 12.5. 2.5 times 5 would be 12.5. So after 100 minutes, we'd have 12.5 miles. So it's actually somewhere like that. Okay. So we can have half a mile, correct? So we can join the lines, the points, I mean, to form a line. And the question says, how long does it take the boat to reach the bridge? Well, the bridge is 10 miles. So 80 minutes. So we can do that as a proportion. Okay. And we said that 2.5 times 4 would give us 10 miles. So 20 times 4 is 80 minutes. All right, so that's it for lesson 7 too. So until our next lesson, I will see you soon.